What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Husband Podcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got both of my co-hosts on the line with me tonight. I got my man, Jay Baba. What's good with you, man?
No more. What's going on, fellas? Man, last episode of 2022 here. Made a lot of strides over the year. Right now, we're actually at 19,000 followers on the Husband Podcast page. My goal is actually to get to 20,000, so we're right there within striking distance. And fantasy football, competing for that championship this Sunday. So, trying to bring home that ship there. But want to quickly remind you can subscribe to us on YouTube and follow us on TikTok at hoetohusbandpodcast. All right, T.
I also got my man SD. What's good with you, man?
Nothing, man. I'm competing for my own championship in another league, not in the league I'm in with y'all. So I hope you win, Jay. All right, so I want to give a shout out to Brother Soul Productions for always keeping the background audio fresh. And then I want to remind you all to donate to the Hold the Husband Podcast on Cash App and PayPal.
I want to remind everybody real quick that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. And y'all can also catch the podcast on Spotify going forward. Tonight's episode is titled For the Streets. I'm pretty sure we all know what that means. Talking about promiscuous behavior, in particular, how men view women that are very promiscuous.
Or Terry's being politically correct. How men view women that are hoes. Okay? Okay. Men are hoes too. It's just saying promiscuous. No, how we view hoes. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
You would know as the whole phase expert.
Yeah. So we're going to get into that a little bit later, but y'all know how we do it around here. We like to talk about stuff we've seen trending and stuff on that we've seen on our timelines. So we got a couple interesting videos this week. This first video, ladies, brace yourselves. It's a video that highlights kind of how unrealistic the standards that women have for men are. Let's take a look.
Okay, here we go.
5'10", makes $70,000
not
a
married,
year.
any race.
Not married, any race, and not obese.
Not
Anybody
obese, earning $70,000 per year.
Anybody want to take a guess? What do you think?
18.
18%.
10%.
10%.
15.
15?
12.
What do you think?
10%.
What do you think?
7%.
Yeah.
20.
20? Guys, we went below 100,000. We went below 6 feet tall. It is 1.5% of men that you guys are describing. Now, here's the thing. Here's the reason why we bring this up. I love the looks on your face, by the way. I'm sorry.
Now that we know the numbers pretty much.
Sorry to crush your dreams. But the first part is that number. Now, the second part is, can you get this guy to, 1, have sex with you, 2, be in a relationship with you, 3, be in a relationship with you and not cheat? Now, those numbers get even progressively lower, right?
Oh man! Shout out to my man Michael Sartain for bringing the cold hard facts, man. The numbers don't lie. We talk about this all the time. The package of a man that women have in their brains does not represent what they're going to encounter in reality. And so a lot of women, they just eliminate men that are, on their level, that would be good mates for them because they don't match up to what they see in their head. And when you just do the numbers, man, a lot of them are going to end up alone. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. I think that, a lot of women, especially nowadays with social media, believe that they are more than what they actually are to a man. Mm-hmm. Like, and I like to say that a woman's looks determines the income that a man can have, like the type of men she can date. Like, we know that these ball players and entertainers, like, they get these beautiful.
You gotta be gorgeous. You gotta be gorgeous.
Right? Yeah, like these here gorgeous women ain't dating men that's making $75,000 9 times out of 10. Like,
but that don't necessarily mean it's good. Because a lot of women will look at a guy just because he's making a certain amount and make that her goal to date him when he could be a horrible person. Like that they're.
Why you think they like Russell? Why you think they like Russell Wilson? Because he got $100 million. It ain't because Russell's sexy. It's because he got money. So my point is that a lot of women just have this unrealistic expectation of a man. And that don't mean that you should just settle for any old man. Let's make that clear.
No,
you should just settle for any old man. But the fact of the matter is that, like he said, only 1.5% of all races of men are over 5'10" and make over 70,000. Now that's a mind-blowing stat to me myself.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, wow, that is amazing, right? So, I mean, think about it. But then if you actually do the numbers on a woman that's fit, in shape, friendly, feminine, and like knows how to be a wife and wants to be a wife, I bet you that number is about the same. Because you're talking 80% of women in the United States are obese or overweight. 65% are obese. So in comparison to a man's income and his physical attributes, let's compare the women's physical attributes and what men want and the qualities that men want in a woman. And I bet you that number is about the same. So, you know, on both sides, people got to be more realistic.
But
it's a tight squeeze.
You know what? But you know what? But what folks need to realize here, what this says is, listen, you don't get to have it all. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe you can get 2 if you out of what he just said back, maybe 2 of those if you're lucky.
That's a great point.
But you don't get to have it all.
Yeah. I remember that viral video where the woman had like the husband department store with the 6 levels or whatnot. And the woman just, no, I can go to the next level and get a better man. A lot of women really, really operate like that. And it's like they focus on what a man doesn't have or what they don't like about a man instead of looking at the total picture in what he all brings to the table and what they could build together. And I think that's the unfortunate part of the modern woman's mindset.
Well, you know what, man? A lot of that too is society programming, and panderers pander to these women and tell them that they can have it all. There is a man out there that will give you everything that you want, and it'll be everything that you want in a man. Like, come on, man. You're not everything he want in a woman. So if you want to be, if you're going to be honest about it, there's no way you can be. And there's no way a man can be every single thing you want. That stuff is for Instagram likes and the movies. That's what that stuff is for. This man gonna have he gonna leave dishes on the sink, or he might be selfish, or whatever the case. He might be short. These dudes and these here women are not gonna have every single thing that you want.
You know, you got these folks out there say, hey, don't forget your crown, queen. But just like you said, everybody's gonna have their flaws. Nobody's perfect. So when you're dealing with somebody, you know, you just got to take in the good with the bad. There, you can't expect everything.
Yeah, I don't know about how other guys, but I've always looked at like when I just look at women in general. Like I can look at a woman and see her circumstance, and I can instantly think of how much better it would be if I was dating her. You know what I'm saying? Like how I would be able to upgrade her life. And I don't think a lot of women really look at it like that. How they can complement a man's life, how they can make things better from him. They look at it from what they would get from it. And that's why it puts some of the not so savory guys, or the guys with not quality character, in a position to date these type of women, because all they got to do is come with finances or the illusion that they're a certain type of guy, and women fall for it just about every time.
Yeah, you know what, man? What's really sticks out to me when you said women don't really think about it. When I see some of these here podcasts or people on the street and they ask women, what do you bring to the table? A lot of them have nothing to say. But if you ask them what they want from a man, they can roll it out. Spit it out like nothing. Because a lot of women don't really sit around and think about how they can improve a man's life outside of sex. They'll talk about giving him head when he come in or something like that. Outside of that, they find everything else, like a lot of women, not all of them, as being a maid or a servant. They hate that part of being in a relationship with a man. Go ahead.
The work.
You know what, SD is the most cliche answer you get out of a lot of those was, well, I am the table. Like
That is trash.
Their value is like a lot of women have such an inflated sense of self or inflated value that, hey, them just showing up and just looking good is good enough.
Yeah, but ask them what it means. And they can't tell, they can't articulate what that means. And a lot of times nowadays with the modern women that are making a little bit of money, right? Only like 7% of them make over 75,000. So all these women ain't running around making all this money that they're claiming to make. Right? When you ask them what that means, the first thing that they spit out is finances. Right. It is one of the first things they say when they talk about their table. But what they don't understand is a man
that don't matter.
You want a man to bring the table. That's why you want a man to be a provider.
Exactly.
So you want him to bring the table. He's not looking for a woman that's got a table to sit next to his. What good does that do? He needs utensils. He needs plates. He needs forks. He needs a nurturer. He needs somebody that's reasonable and accountable, know how to keep a home, know how to cook. All these here different things that set the table. So you bragging about coming with a table. I bring the table to the table. You know what I'm saying? With your finances. With your finances, it's like a man saying, well, I bring a lot of nurturing. That's what I bring. As a man. A woman gonna be like, who cares? So my
good example.
Is that they don't really have a sense of what men want and need from a woman outside of sex. And a lot of them don't really care.
Exactly. Well, just to bring that point home, it's just that they have nothing really tangible to bring to the table or offer no real substance. Most of the time just looks if they have that. And that's
a lot of women do have a lot of substance. We're not saying all women.
Right.
The ones that'll get
I'm talking about the ones that respond like that.
Yeah.
All right, now let's keep the ball rolling. Now this next clip, it kind of highlights something that we talk about from time to time. The expectations or the women that try to use sex as an exchange with men. So this next video is highlighting what we call undercover prostitution. Let's take a look.
The chicks that be like, we're not even together, but I want you to do my nails. I want you to do this and I want you to do that. Remember? And I was thinking about it and I was like, and I bet we're going to have a happy ending too. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't feel good to hear it this way, but it's prostitution. It is. Whether it's a payment right here and then we're going to do it right here in the car, or I want you to get me all these services or things and then I'm going to bust it wide open. It's still prostitution. Mm-hmm. It's a transaction. And what people don't understand is that leads to transactionary love, supposedly. Mm-hmm. Like if you do this, then I'll do that. Mm-hmm. If you do this, then I'll do that. But that's not the arrangement you want. Mm-hmm. You want this man to love you for you, be there for you, cherish you for you. But the only time he got to enjoy you is if he did something for you.
Facts. You know, that's why I never understood guys like even guys that are rich and famous. Like, ain't no way I could, even if I had the money, I couldn't be with a chick that you gotta buy me this, and this to date me, or you gotta do this X, Y, and Z to hang out with me. Like, to me, if a chick didn't wanna fuck with me, I'm not wasting my time chasing her, man. I never could understand that mentality of guys that actually date these type of women.
Man, a lot of times them type of dudes never got women growing up, but now they got money. Now they got money and they figure, hey, you know, I never got these pretty women, or I never got women like this. So I know they like money, so let me go and use my money to get the women. And that's pretty lame to me personally.
I agree.
But a lot of chicks, you know, they be secret prostitutes. Like the lady was saying, hey, well, you know, you got to pay for my nails. You got to do this. You got to do that. It's all good. I wish some of these here chicks would put their price in their bio. Just cut through all the bull. Like, just cut through the nonsense and say, hey, it's $300. You know what I'm saying, for this here.
Well,
that's really
the going rate is it still $40?
It's still 40.
Still 40 for the
40 was head. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy, man.
But women don't never want to think of it as prostitution. I'll say it like this: if a woman is placing monetary requirements on you in order to get with her or date her, to me, I feel like she doesn't really like you on that kind of level. Because a woman that likes you, it doesn't, like, for example, a woman likes you, you can take her to the hot dog stand, she'll be happy with that if she likes you on that kind of level.
Yeah, because it's about the companionship. Now, I agree, life ain't free. So as a man, you should expect to have some type of expenses anytime you go out. If you was like, hey, let's go to this football game or let's go here,
Right.
I'm expecting to spend some money, parking,
No.
traveling, this and that, getting something to drink, getting some food, getting some, like, you're going to have to spend money as a man no matter what you
No
do.
doubt.
And so that I guess indirectly you could say a man's paying for it, but I don't look like a woman hanging out with a guy that she likes. They doing some fun activities and they end up having sex. I don't view that as prostitution because she didn't put a set list of demands on what had to take place or what he had to pay, what financial burden he had to reach in order to get the sex.
Well, but thinking about it, it's just another way of going about it. Because in essence, she wouldn't deal with you if you weren't taking her out and trying to get the door. Yeah, it might not be straight up like, hey, you got to do this to get the sex. Y'all might really like each other. But the fact of the matter is that she wouldn't deal with you if you were broke and couldn't take her out. She 9 times out of 10 at our age, a woman ain't gonna deal with you if you work at McDonald's and now you cannot take her out. You cannot, go on trips. You can't do these things with her as a woman. She ain't gonna deal with you, and she definitely ain't gonna have sex with you. So, tell me I'm lying.
You ain't lying.
So where does it? So where is the fine line between what we call a prostitute that's telling us from the beginning, hey, you got to do this, that, and this and that in order to get it, and from a woman that's indirectly saying, well, you got to have your financial life in order. You got to have your own place.
To me, that's just
to get to I know it's regular behavior for a woman,
right?
That's doing this thing, right?
And from a male perspective, I'm cool with that because those are the things that separate me from the other guys. Those are the things that put me in that upper percent. So I'm cool with it.
To do what?
To be able to attract women. You know what I mean?
Like, to do what?
You mean to have the money to provide the lifestyle that attracts women. That's really all it's about.
Terry, no.
Hold on.
You got this here money. You want this money to be able to show her that you can provide this lifestyle in the hopes of doing what?
Have sex with her.
Getting the sex. But
GTD. Get the draws.
But see, okay, all right. Well, see, I look at it from I was able to do this even when I was broke. So I can get pussy just from conversations with women. So it's never been about them, what they can get from me financially. I've been broke majority of my life. You know what I mean? Like, so being able to create the vibe, being able to have a conversation, having the swag and, the attractiveness to be able to shoot my shot, keep things going, not mess it up. Like the skill set we always talk about.
Yeah.
Right. It's just enhanced significantly once you start getting the bag.
Right. That works that works when we 17, 18, 19. That works when we in our young 20s. But when you get up over 30 and you want a specific type of woman that's beautiful, got her mind on straight and different things, being broke and like that's not gonna work.
If a guy is in a position where he's broke or unattractive or whatnot, then he's just as delusional as those chicks in the other video.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's your bad, dog.
True,
you 30 plus.
For it.
Yeah, you know
for it.
You're right. I say as a man, you should always want to, like I always say, you should always want to progress. Regardless, if you're 30-something years old, you broke, you should be figuring out how to get out of that situation and be in a better position in life.
Yeah, and most marriages, right? If a man say, baby, you know what? I don't want to work no more. I don't want to work no more. I want you to provide. How many women you think gonna actually get wet for this man and have sex with him when he say he don't want to provide no more? Now, will we call that prostitution? Because she don't want to have sex with you, bruh. You're not doing your job as a man. So will we then call a wife? Will we call her a secret prostitute because this is what she requires? No, we won't. But it's the same thing, just in a different form. So you know what? I'm just thinking about this right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? We all paying for it. It's just a matter of when you pay for it and how you pay for it. That's the only difference. So, are all the women prostitutes, or are all the men tricks?
So SD. So hold on, I got a question for you. So what would you say the difference between, what would you consider tricking and not tricking?
I think tricking.
Good question, Jay.
Is doing things for a woman that you normally couldn't get, monetarily, giving her money strictly for sex and go home. I think that's tricking. Like, let me buy you.
Like hiring an escort or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's tricking. I think going to the strip clubs is tricking. That's just me. You going to throw money at these chicks and they don't think nothing about you. But you know, that's what I think it is. And not tricking is like you doing something for somebody you love or you care about, be it your girl or be it your wife. I don't think that's tricking. But you know, that's just me.
Well, my definition is slightly different. I view tricking as a guy spending money to try to get a woman's interest in him, right?
Yeah.
That's different than meeting a chick that like you or think you cute and then spending money to entertain her or facilitate things. It's, you don't like me? Well, here, I'll buy you this. Well, here, I can do this. Flashing money, doing the stuff we see on social media. Those type of situations are what I would consider to be tricking.
But the end goal is the same for both of them fools.
True.
Yeah. The end goal is the same. It's just going about it different ways. So
I mean, and women are gonna respond to it different ways. You know, some women you come to them like they a prostitute, they gonna be very offended by that because they actually have sex with men that they genuinely like, that they genuinely build connections with, and the sex is not used as a manipulation tool. You know what I mean, or a transaction. And so that's one of the big differences in how you come at a woman. But we do.
Stop paying them bills as a husband, or stop paying for dates when you go out and see. Don't it become a transaction tool then? Don't it become a tool then to say, hey man, look, I don't even get wet for you. You don't pay for dates no more. You don't want to pay these bills no more in the house. I bet you it become a transaction tool then. So again, are all the women prostitutes or are all the men tricks? On the next episode of Hold Up.
It's a great segue there.
All right, y'all. The great segue from SD, man. We about to take a quick break. When we come back, we're gonna be getting into tonight's topic for the streets and discussing women that exhibit promiscuous behavior. Y'all are tuned into the Hold Up Husband podcast. We'll be back in a minute. Hi. I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships. And I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hold Up Husband podcast. We got our topic of the night for the streets. It was sparked by a viral video of someone that has had a recent conversation with one of our co-hosts. Miss Brittany Renner went viral. She had an interview where she was talking about her regrets of her promiscuous behavior in her whole past. Let's take a look at what she had to say, and we'll also take a look at what she had to say before this interview. Let's take a listen.
For a clean slate, and that's just the God honest truth. But I will say to 20-year-olds, and even to my 20-year-old self, I hate how I allowed myself to just be like used up by men. And that came from a lack of self-worth. I did not understand my value that I was born with. I didn't.
lying to yourself. Like, oh, I can't have sex without being emotionally tied. Dude, I can you and literally not think about you the next day. Stop giving yourself that much credit.
But no, hold on. Let go. Why can't you do that? Why?
The same reason you guys can, because I'm not in tune with myself. That's why.
Most women don't behave that way. So when a woman does, let me finish. When a woman does, and she's a, even though a man can and he's a, it's different for you than it is for me.
Why?
Because emotionally, those women, we want a woman that can emotionally bond with us, not one that's been a who can't later on.
Okay. There are a lot of things to take from this revelation by Brittany, but it's annoying to see women that have monetized being a hoe, targeted young men that are going to be professional athletes, went focus on getting the bag, monetizing her social media by becoming sexual and showing all these sex, and then to say, I allowed men to just use me up. You were the one using. She was the one using her pussy to benefit in all these different ways. She's the one that's talking about how easy it is to get an NBA player. And my favorite team is the one with the dude I'm fucking. You know what I'm saying? Like all this shit that she said about her past, now she's the victim. Like,
didn't she make a book on this too?
Yeah. That was her. She wrote a tell-all book.
Yep.
Man, listen, man. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. I think it's fake. I think it's fake because I have talked to her face to face, and I think that it's fake for the platform that she was on. I give her a couple weeks and she'll be right back to doing what she did. Because, listen, hey man, you monetized off this and you proudly proclaim to be a hoe. Like,
yeah,
it's here, but what they don't understand, and like I told her, most women don't behave like that. And the women that do are they can't behave like a hoe and be emotionally sound after the fact. They can't. You can't.
Like they just want men to erase. Like she said at in the clip, I just want to be able to start over. It don't work like that.
It don't work that way.
Like it don't work like that. You don't get to hit a reset button where everybody just forget about everything you did and how you handled yourself. Just like men don't. Like your who you are is a combination of your present skill set and mind frame and behavior, plus the baggage that you bring with you. And hoes are the only one. Well, female hoes, male hoes acknowledge it, just like we do on the podcast.
Yeah, it's different. It's different. I mean, like it's not something that most men want in a long-term option. The vast majority of men ain't looking for hoes and women or former hoes to take their last name. And women and those types of women typically don't realize it until they can't get the types of men that they want, like to actually be in a relationship with them, because men only like hoes or former hoes for one reason. That's it. The majority of men only like hoes and former hoes for sex. That is it. That is all. Women typically like men that are hoes and former hoes for long-term relationships. A lot of women just try to change the hoe and want him to turn into a good guy. Or they still like the former hoe because now he's retired out of the hoe game, but he's got all the characteristics that women like and they still like him. Otherwise, they go get these lames over here that's been around for 20 years.
In the friend zone.
Really like them. Yeah. Like
telling her good morning and happy birthday.
They'll take the long-term relationship from a man that's a former hoe, but men do not want a woman like that. And you can't just snap your fingers and say, all right, I ain't a hoe no more. It don't work like that. Ask Amber Rose. Ask some of these other chicks out here, Black China and whoever else claim that they sluts.
Megan Stallion.
I want to ask y'all, how do y'all define the phrase "for the streets"? Like, what is it that makes you say a chick is for the streets?
For the streets is kind of new. For the streets to me is like this city girl culture. This I'm a boss bee, bad bee, that city girl, run the streets all the time, clubbing, trying to be on the scene, all of that type of stuff is for the streets to me. I consider that and a hoe two different things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so that's just me.
I mean,
What about you, Jay?
I would say, a hoe and for the streets. I put them more or less in the same category. And to me, that's a woman just going out having sex willy nilly, not valuing who she has sex with. Basically, almost just having sex with every and anybody. And I would look. There's a couple of signs I would look at and see if she for the streets. If she got the tramp stamp tattoo on her titty. I look at things like those. If I see those, like especially the tramp stamp, I'd be like, oh, she for the streets.
Yeah, well, I'm in alignment with you, Jay. I look at them kind of being the same thing. A chick that's for the streets, in my opinion, just means somebody that's viewed as fun primarily from a male perspective. Somebody that he's not going to take seriously. You're not about to try to be get in a serious relationship with her, and you're not trying to take her home to mama. So they definitely have a place. But the difference is, from a male perspective, we don't typically fall for somebody just because we having sex with them. I've had friends with benefit situations with girls I knew was hoes for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I was never in my feelings or I never, ever, ever envisioned us being together. You know what I mean? Like, but they would have those kind of conversations, like future tense conversations, like, man, I could picture us having kids, and yeah, you gotta censor your response. You don't want to kill the vibe. You don't want to,
especially if she a head monster. You gotta be like, oh man, yeah, what you gonna name them? You don't want to mess up with your head monster, man. That's for sure. Go ahead, Jay. I'm sorry, man.
I say, like, as far as Brittany, it's crazy how, when she's somebody, she could do what men do. She said it so shamelessly, especially the conversation with you, SD, when y'all was on tonight's conversation. I mean, she was very cantankerous. She was indignant, just acrimonious with you, saying, oh, I can do what you do. And you explained to her that it's a skill for a man to get multiple women or sleep with multiple women. Absolutely. It's not a skill for a woman. That's why men get more respect. And man, so for her to go on this platform, it was basically a 180-degree turnaround from what you said on tonight's conversation.
Yeah, and that's why I don't think it's genuine. I think that because of who was there, because Andrew Tate was there too, and I think that because of the platform that she's on with just Pearly is on the money and very realistic.
I like her
hitting them. Yeah, her along with Andrew Tate, it's just a different ball game when you're sitting in there with them. And I think that I think that she adapted to her surroundings and tried to play this here particular type of situation because Andrew Tate's a millionaire also. Let's not forget that, right? Yeah. So I think she just played for what she was in because it ain't gonna be long, man. She's gonna be right back to doing what she was doing. But these women monetize off of it and then turn around and try to delete it. It don't work that way. Like,
and she did it because I remember. She monetized it better than any hoe that I've seen. She had a side chick thing with a food chain, like she had a real commercial. You know what I mean? Like, so she actually, Deion flew her out to Jackson State to kind of give a speech to the players about thoughts and groupies and groupie culture. So she's monetized being the poster child for thought culture. The modern day Corinne Steffens, aka Superhead. Yeah. But the problem with women that operate like this, though, is women gravitate towards men that are able to sleep with several women, that have the swag to be, to get the most attractive women to want to date him or whatnot. But there's a big difference in how men select wives and the women that they want to have children with, and how women select who that they want to be married to. And the example that I want to point out is, or to use it as an example, is when women get famous or they get their status or whatnot, they automatically level up on the only type of guys that they would date. But a guy could reach the pinnacle of success and still be with the girl from high school, aka LeBron James. Same chick you was with since high school, when you was sharing lunch and broke, walking to school, etc. The same woman that you're with now that you're worth $1 billion. And so that shows you that it's not about just trying to get with a chick that was the most beautiful, or especially a chick that has a promiscuous reputation.
Yeah. Man, I just, I don't know, man. It's different. It's different for men than it is for women. It is what it is. A lot of women don't like the double standard of it all, but that's just the way it goes.
Is it a double standard,
man?
Do you think it's
I think it's a double standard. But because we are free to do whatever it is that we want to do and have sex with whoever. But as men, it's looked at and treated different if we do it as opposed to when they do it. And there's reasons behind it, like I explained in the clip, and like Jay was talking about, because for a man, it takes skill to be able to do it. For a woman, it don't. So it's not respected for a woman to do it, which causes the double standard of why people look down on those women and frown at them. But it is what it is. But they don't mind when they are getting money from it. Like,
but see, the thing is though,
these women are only famous. They are only famous because they were hoes. That is it. Like, you cannot be monetized off of it and love it at 1 minute and then don't want to be treated like a hoe the next minute. Like, you got to take what.
Like Amber Rose did the most to try to fix that with the the hoe walk or the hoe parade? Slut walk. That's what it was. Like, she tried to make it like not a big deal as much as possible, but it's still the same. Like, even though she's monetized it and she's made a couple $1 million and all that, there's no respectable man is gonna want to be with her. You know what I mean?
And she's pretty. Like, she ain't no bad looking chick. She's
not
pretty,
at all.
even though she put that tattoo across her forehead, but still, she's having trouble. As a matter of fact, it was just a meme.
Didn't her baby daddy left her for share or something?
Yeah, like 8 months ago. 8 months ago, she put up a post that said, man, it's so hard to find love out here and somebody to really value you. Yeah, you've been running around calling yourself a slut for the past 15, 20 years.
I mean, especially if you got a man that's leaving you for a woman who's almost 80 years old.
Come on, man.
Think about
It's that money. It's the money, bro. Like,
somebody's grandma.
Come on, man. He got to blow the dust off of that before he hit it. So cut it out. But
I was gonna ask y'all. See, one of the biggest difference in when we're talking about the promiscuous behavior is women are constantly talking about what men have to do before they'll sleep with them, before they'll date with them, etc. Yeah. Men, I have never heard men going around saying that. The only requirements, and it's not even a requirement, it's very flexible, is sexual attraction and opportunity. And that can be, depending on how drunk he is, depending on the situation, a guy could have sex with a chick he's not even attracted to if it requires it. Taking one for the team. You just end up horny in a situation like that. So men have made it very clear that their standards for sex are very low and they have sex primarily to give and receive pleasure. Yeah. Women are the ones that are always trying to leverage sex into something else. And that's why they run into so many problems.
Yeah, it don't become important to a man till he get older, I think. And once he kind of slows down a little bit and values himself a little more. Because when I was young, man, listen, hey, these here chicks out here, man, I was doing all types of stuff. Now, as an older guy, like, you got to be what I want in the woman. I got standards. Now, you just can't come up.
Let me put him on the spot. Now, since you've been single, we know you're a hot playboy on the scene.
He said, hold on, time out. Hey.
Time out. We don't playboy on nothing.
Okay.
Playboy
eligible bachelor.
The options are there. Yes, the options
you're a very
there.
eligible bachelor.
Playboy? Yes. Okay.
So my question is, what is the longest that you have went without sex in a phase that you've been single?
Man, maybe 8 months, 9 months.
For real?
Yeah. What? When I was 8 or 9 months.
Now this
Man, I'm impressed.
is this right out of? Is this
I
like fresh?
definitely didn't expect that.
I ain't
Say
expect
it
that
again?
either. Is this
I said
fresh out
I
of?
thought you was gonna say a couple of weeks or something. I definitely didn't
No.
expect you to say
That's
that.
what I expected.
No.
Wait, hold on. Hold on, real quick. So was this like right after your breakup with the person you were dealing with?
Yeah, because then COVID hit. I went out.
Okay.
So that don't count, man. You don't get credit for that. You don't get credit for COVID, bro. Your COVID.
He was he was really social distancing for real.
Don't take credit. I'm up here complimenting them. Hey, COVID. Thanks for the follow-up question, Jay.
COVID counts, man. All of that counts. Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But my point is that I am very selective about who I deal with. Whereas when I was young, I wasn't selective at all. It was like, all right, well, I think you're pretty, or it's something I like about you, or you just want to give me a nut. Like you said, Terry, hey, I ain't even really got to like you or be attracted to you like that. You know, I meet you at McDonald's one day and I nail you the next day. Yeah, when I was younger. Now I won't do that. I ain't meet no chick at McDonald's and just running up in her like that. Like, nah, I got to get to know you. I got to make sure you solid where I can be around you and take my pants off and have my wallet in it and not something come up missing inside of that sucker.
You know what?
I got to know that a chick is solid before I deal with it.
You know what, SC? Man, that's a good point you make. Like I was saying, 20s, same way, just all right, just whatever. 30s, it's not even that. In your 30s, you want to be more efficient with your time too. When dealing with it.
Plus, you know what I'm saying? Years ago, I've had chicks try to set me up. So it's a lot of stuff. Like I have to talk to.
I be forgetting you from Chi-Town, man.
Yeah. And I gotta really get to know a chick, man, and see what's up with her and how she move and different things before I get with her. You know, I can't be out here like that no more because of certain things. I've been shot. I've been set up before by women trying to get me because of the car I drive, because they, or whatever the case. So I don't move like that now, but I understand that a lot of men do, especially when they're in their whole phase. All of the men in the whole phase move like that. You know what I'm saying? They just hit whatever's gonna let them.
Reckless.
But
yeah,
you know what? That's crazy you said it, and you're smarter because that's typical when you watch these crime TV shows, especially like on the ID channel. When a dude gets killed, there's a lot of situations where he getting set up behind a woman, got shot by her boyfriend or husband or who.
That's what happened to the dude on Steve Harvey's show. The guy on Steve Harvey's show, he got set up by a woman and got killed.
What happened?
To go meet up. The dude on Steve Harvey's show, Romeo something. I forgot his name. You know him.
I remember you talking about
Santana.
Merlin Santana. Okay.
Yes, he got set up by a woman. So I had kind of a similar situation where I peeped game ahead of time, and I got to the spot in a beater, and I'm sitting there in my car that nobody recognized. It was an old work car, and I peeped game before, and I'm like, something ain't right because it didn't sound right. So now I be careful with who I talk to, man. You got to be a stand-up chick. I don't care how pretty you is. I don't care about none of that. You got to have your stuff together as a woman, and I got to vet you to get you in my space like that. So that's just what it is. But
especially now with sharing locations, sharing addresses, you know, it's a lot of stuff that you didn't have to be cautious of before. That could be a big deal now. You know what I mean? And you know, your situations, I always forget you so calm and regular. You don't think that you've been through some of the crazy stuff that you've been in. But I really do be forgetting you in them Chicago streets for real. And all that. And plus, you know, I've been off the dating market 20 plus years, so I don't have to pursue women and deal with the getting to know a chick and the establishing the trust that it takes to have a woman come to your crib or things of that nature. You know what I'm saying?
She gotta see how you really live. She got to be solid, bro, to come around me. I mean, that's just what it is.
How long do it take you to vet a woman?
I was just gonna ask that.
You know, it all depends, man. Like, it could be 3 weeks or whatever, 2-3 weeks, a month, and just feeling her out, and then going out with her, seeing how she do certain things, how she live, where she live, what she do for a living, how she deal with people while she outside, how she talk, how she posts on Instagram. That's important to me. How she deal with her kids. That type of stuff is important to me. What does she have to lose? And you know what I'm saying? Is she hood? I don't deal with hood chicks. You know what I'm saying? I don't deal with people like that. So it's a lot of things I pay attention to just from years of experience.
Hold on, SD, man. You meant one word. You said, "What does she have to lose?" And I would say this: the worst person you can have around you is somebody with nothing to lose, man. That is the worst you can have. But real quick, SD, like, what are some like red flags or deal breakers? When you were initially vetting a chick, you'd be like, "All right, this is it. That's the deal breaker. I'm blocking her."
Half naked on Instagram. Half naked on Instagram.
For the streets.
I'm gonna look.
Areolas showing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at your areolas. Don't get it twisted. I'm gonna look at your areolas, but for my woman, if all your pictures is from the back and you showing your booty and all that, like, come on, man, you too much attention seeking. So for me, that's a red flag. The mindset, like, I look for posts like I don't need a man, or I'm a strong, independent alpha woman, and all this. I look for wording. Wording means a lot to me. So I pay attention to, I'm a boss B, or you call yourself the B word. Like, I don't even talk like that. So I don't like women that describe themselves in that way, because it's too pop culturist and hip hopish, and the mindset usually comes with that type of wording when you describe yourself that way. So I pay attention to that. I pay attention to another red flag is if you don't have your kids. If you don't have your kid, you know, they always with the grandparents and you always out or going out a lot. Dude, I pay attention to so many things, man, on a woman. And
you got to.
And always got her hair and nails done.
Like even how you do that.
Her priorities, her lifestyle, all that. Yeah. But the reason why that stuff is so important, ladies, if y'all haven't figured out, the woman that a guy marries or has his children with represents him. You know, like, absolutely. I judge a guy by who his baby mamas are. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Even though you can't 100% control that, you could accidentally get somebody pregnant. But if you got pregnant with somebody that was a solid person or a solid woman, it's going to be reflected in how she's raising your kid. You know what I mean? Like, so when I see a dude that have a child by a hood rat, you know what I'm saying, got his kid living in the slums and all that, that was his bad decision making. You know what I mean? Like, to engage with that type of woman like that. So it is important. The same way I would think that a woman would want a guy that, you would think that, but most women just want a guy that at least looks like he has money. Yeah. And that's a lot of times where they go wrong, because there are a lot of different ways bad dudes can get money. You know what I mean?
Yep. They go off the vibes. They go off the vibes. I'm just going off the vibes, and before you know it, they 5 years in with the vibes and a 2-year-old, and like, oh, he was a loser. He was a loser. That's because you didn't take your time. And don't get me wrong, man. Taking my time and really studying these here women out here, it's tough. It's tough because a lot of women eliminate themselves, you know, with different things, man. I seen a video the other day from Corey Holcomb about a woman that you can't have authority over, that won't listen to you, and how dangerous.
Yeah, I know the video you're talking about.
Yeah, and that's important for me, man. Like, as a woman, I look for
that won't respect you as the man.
That respects a man for being a man, because if she respects you for that, then she will listen to you. You know what I'm saying? And trust your leadership and your guidance, and there's certain ways that you can direct and structure that relationship. That's important. If I can't talk to you and you don't feel like a man can have that type of authority over you as a woman, I don't want to be bothered with you, because you're too much of a wild card, and you can get me
for the streets
out here in the streets. That's what
fun only. See, and when we say for the streets, that just means fun only. That means he can be around you, he can hang out with you, he can go places with you, but you would never be the woman that is going to be a mainstay in his life. He's not going to be having future conversations with you. He's not going to be thinking about how can y'all build together. Like, you're going to be somebody that he link up with. You're going to be a sneaky link, or somebody that was good. Let's go here. Let's go have some drinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, if those are the only times you link up with a dude, that's probably how he views you.
Yeah. Fellas, man, real quick, man, do you think, like, a woman that's for the street, having all these sexual partners, don't you think that breaks her down mentally?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's psychologist studies that are done, man, on this very subject, like about the amount of sexual partners that a woman has. Matter of fact, let me read this here real fast.
Go
It
ahead.
says over at the Institute for Family Studies, Nicholas Wolfinger, a sociologist at the University of Utah, has found that Americans who have only ever slept with their spouses are more likely to report being very happy in marriage. Meanwhile, the lowest odds of marital happiness, about 13% points lower than the one partner women, belong to women who have had 6 to 10 partners in their lives. For men, there is still a dip in marital satisfaction after one partner, but it is never as low as it gets for women who have 6 to 10 partners. The mental toll that it takes on women to bond, leave a bond, bond, leave a bond, bond, leave a bond. It's completely different because of the oxytocin and bind that a woman has with a man she typically lies down with.
Wow.
A man, we don't let off that amount of oxytocin that a woman has. That's why we able to just sleep with a chick and don't know her name. We don't know nothing.
It's
about
just
her.
sex.
It's just a
It
nut,
felt
right?
good. You look good.
Yeah.
It's never it's never the additional layers of meaning that women typically place on sex. And that's why when we talk about, you know, cheating and things of that nature, everything that women do show us how much value they place on who they have sex with. And so men, everything that women, all their behavior is going to be referenced into that value. So the women that are just selling it for $3.99 on OnlyFans, showing you their panties and all that on their timeline, yeah, we follow them. Yes, it's great. That kind of visual stimulation makes my day. You know what I'm saying? Seeing bad chicks on my timeline is probably my favorite part of having Instagram and social media. You know what I mean? Like, because I'm from the era where I had to go to the club or to the bar or to the skating rink or somewhere just to see cute chicks. Now I don't. So the desire to see attractive women and sleep with attractive women is always going to be there. But it does not require any effort for those women to get that attention. Right. So it's not something that's worth bragging about. And if you monetize it, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of it. And that could mean not being viewed as wife material by the men that you view as husband material, unfortunately.
Hey, there's consequences for your actions. Don't complain. If you're a proud hoe, be a proud hoe. If you want to be a hoe, you are very welcome to be a hoe, ladies. Just like men. But just don't complain about the consequences that men take on you for being a hoe. You can't change men and how we feel about it, no matter how y'all don't like it.
Word. Man, I'll say this. If you're gonna get to be a hoe, shit, hell, be the best hoe you can be. If you're gonna be OnlyFans hoe, be the best OnlyFans hoe you can be.
Be a good hoe.
Yeah, you gotta be able to live with the consequences.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We about to get up out of here, man. It looks like we up against the clock. Before we get up out of here, man, I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. And I want to remind y'all to continue donating to the podcast or our Cash App and our PayPal. I want to wish y'all a happy new year since this is our last episode of the year. JSD, man, I appreciate y'all linking up with me so we can get another episode knocked out. This has been another episode of the Hoetohusband Podcast, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
Merry New Year!